leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good, everyone? Salute to you. Thanks for tuning in. Big salute. Yeah, supporters as always, man, to tune in and rock with the channel. Tone Brown on deck. First in the building. How you feeling, bro? Appreciate you pulling up. WCS. Boxing Talk. You in the building, do me a favor, man. Just hit the like button, man. Share the content. Donate to the channel if you see fit. You know what I'm saying? If you a Errol Spence fan, donate to the channel. You know what I'm saying? You're a Terrence Crawford fan, yeah, donate to the channel if you feel the need to do so. Because this is going to be another video basically speaking on the current events that's taking place with a much anticipated fantasy fight that everybody been talking about. Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Let me give you a little history on Errol Spence. His last fight was December 2020. All right. So he went the entire year of 2021 with no fight for the fact of, an eye injury or what have you. He had an eye injury that put him out. It was allegedly that he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. He wanted that fight. But then, due to the eye injury, he was pulled out. That just so happened, mysteriously, when that video has surfaced of him having a bad sparring session. And, fighters have bad sparring sessions. That doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? People's up here talking about Terrence Crawford's sparring session. And he just went in there and knocked out Sean Porter. I mean, shit happens. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Errol Spence didn't fight the entire calendar year of 2021. All right. So let's move back. September 2019 is when he fought Sean Porter. And after that, he had a horrific car accident, which took him out for over a year. And he came back and fought Danny Garcia in December 2020. Errol Spence at one point in time was saying that he didn't need a tune-up coming back off an horrific car accident. And I'm thankful he survived that accident because he got family and everything. You know what I'm saying? But, when it boils down to the liability of why it happened, people tend to just overlook it and everything else. But my point is not to dwell in the past on when the accident happened, but what happened when he decided to come back to the ring. He felt that Danny Garcia wasn't a dangerous enough fight for him to come back off of such a horrific car accident that could have took his life, could have freaking left him paralyzed and everything else. We know motorcycle accidents have taken the life of Diego Corrales. It has halted the boxing career and changed the life of Paul Williams. So you've had individuals in the sport of boxing who is, their lives have been changed from accidents. So he decided to come back and face Danny Garcia after a car accident. Most recently, Derrick James fought, talked to Fight Hype, And it was some miscellaneous sound bites that kind of caught my attention. Fight Hype was finagling their way to the interview without getting to the point they really want to ask about Crawford and Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? But they was busy trying to, tiptoe their way up to the conversation. They talked about Jamel Charlo, and all this other stuff. But really what they wanted to talk about was Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. So if you look in my comment section, first of all, let me give you a rundown. Let me finish doing this. Errol Spence is 27-0, 21 knockouts. You know what I'm saying? 31 years old, southpaw. And his birthplace was Long Island, New York. Now he resides in Texas or whatever. Just for those who didn't know that. So I already gave you the breakdown of him not fighting this calendar year. What's important is a snippet from this interview for what Derrick James has mentioned when asked about Errol Spence potentially fighting Crawford. Cooking with Sir Senior on deck. What's good? What's good with you? He said, I think anything is possible, but you never know. Okay, let me stop it right there. All right. Remember what I just said. The title of this snippet is Spence will decide on Crawford fight. I'm just a trainer. I'm not a manager. But anything is possible, said James. Fight Hub TV when asked if we were going to see a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Let me reiterate. I'm just a trainer and I'm not a manager. But anything is possible, said James. Fight Hub when asked if we were going to see a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. All right. Moving forward, Derrick James also mentioned this, and I cited Boxing News 24 in case anybody wants to say I'm capping. Derrick James went on to say, and listen to the language, I think anything is possible. I think. Tango, Hotel India, November, Kilo. I think, not I know. All right. This is the people that was giving this camp tremendous praise. You know what I'm saying? Derrick James, he got 2 unified champions in his camp. I think anything is possible, but you never know. And he goes on to say, if Errol wants to fight with Crawford, it's going to happen. Not that he's assured that Errol wants to fight. So exclude the if. The sentence didn't begin like that. If you extracted the if and Derrick James say, Errol wants to fight with Crawford, it's going to happen. No, he said, if, one vowel, one syllable, if. Why are so many people out here in the YouTube Serengeti acting as if Spence truly wants this fight? His trainer's not even sure he wants to fight. And you can't say, oh, he's on an injury. No, this has nothing to do with the injury. He said, I think anything's possible. They're talking about potential if these two fight. I think anything is possible, but you never know. That is a person that's speaking that's unsure. It's not like he don't have permission to speak on it. He seems uncertain of the future to include Terrence Crawford stepping in the ring with Errol Spence. He said, but you never know. If Errol wants to fight with Crawford, it's going to happen. It's a lot of apprehension in there, doubt. You know what I'm saying? It's uncertainty. You're not confident. Errol Spence was able to come back from an accident and fight Danny Garcia, but from an eye injury, I guarantee you and promise you this, that name is not going to be Terrence Crawford. I can already see it. He's not going to face Terrence Crawford off an eye injury. See, when Terrence obliged him and say, you know what, I don't want to fight the man coming off an accident. I don't want people saying that I stepped in the ring with a Errol Spence that was less than 100%. He was respectful. He was looking out for the well-being of Spence during that time of need. You know what I'm saying? He was being a gentleman about it, because this used to be a gentleman's sport. So Terrence Crawford was being a gentleman about this shit, right? But now the eye injury and everything else, I'm just not hearing the same. Well, I don't need a tune-up returning from an eye injury. And if you have an eye injury and it's serious, then don't pretend like you coming back at this time during the year and you 100% and you good. Because it's fighters that's coming back off a year and they're doing pretty damn good with themselves. You know what I'm saying? AKA Terrence Crawford. I mean, how many fights did Terrence Crawford have in 21? It's plenty of fighters that's returning with damn near a year layoff. And they're doing just fine. They're doing just fine. So if Errol Spence is going to return and it's just outside a year in December, who is he going to fight? You know what I'm saying? What name is he going to fight? If somehow, some way he's able to get Yordenis Ugas instead of Errol Spence, he's on the Duck Messers Coalition. The top 3 pound for pound on the Duck Messers Coalition. Because if you fight Ugas, you can go fight Crawford. If it's not such a big deal for you, if it's not such a big deal, you can pick Crawford, get it out the way, and then fight Ugas. If you are sure, if you're so sure that you're going to win, just go ahead and fight Crawford. And then you got Ugas for the grand finale. That makes all the sense in the world to me. He goes on to say, I know he has to feel by not being able to fight the fight. So I'm not going to touch on it, said James, when asked if Spence felt bad on not being able to get a fight with Manny Pacquiao after watching him lose to Yordenis Ugas last August. Why are we talking about that? You didn't get the fight. You know, video surfaced, supposedly, you know, Derrick James, who has this tight security confinement, you know, his perimeter is sealed shut in his gym. He have a high alert of security. He had individuals that he invited because he thinks they're better than regular media, you know, new media. He had them on there and they betrayed him. I know exactly who released that video. I know exactly who released it. But see, when you sit up here and say you want to, you know, trust the people that's up top because they have all this dang backing, they have a team, they have a network behind them and all this other stuff. You let them in their gym. They have individuals on that team there to get some type of controversy. You let them in to your domain. So now that you thought you had the perimeter secured, they still infiltrated. They put that damn video out. Not only did they put it out, they kind of edited it too. And then after that video was released, he has an eye injury and he's out of the fight. Don't get mad because you wouldn't let him into your domain. You know, like regular media, we can't get up in there. That's the bad thing about you be wanting to cover some of these great fighters and you just can't get up in there because, you know, sometimes the coaches and trainers make it very, very difficult to fulfill something that's very special while you living. You know what I'm saying? You're living right now. So can I do this while I'm able to do it? Andrew Charles on deck. How you feeling, bro? Everything boxing and sports. What's good with you? Y'all be sure to check out my boy Keon, man. Y'all be sure to check him out, man. Subscribe to his channel and get the notifications and tune in to his channel. J Ocho, salute. But check this out with Derrick James. This is what he goes on to say. There are a lot of fights out there for him, and he's looking forward to them. This was asked. You're thinking about someone, that type of opportunity, getting another opportunity to be able to fight again? We'll see him get in and get some fights, said James. Once again, let me reread that because sometimes boxing news they act like they're writing in braille. You're thinking about someone that type of opportunity, getting another opportunity to be able to fight again. We'll see him get in and get some fights, said James. Whatever that's supposed to mean, because the name Crawford is not inserted in there either. James on Crawford versus Porter. There was a lot of talk about this, right? Very interesting. Um, Very interesting on how Derrick James made it a point to basically provide us with his own side of the story. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to protect any insinuation from fans on the expression that Errol Spence gave when the camera was panned in on him. He said Errol Spence made the face because of Kenny Porter, not because of the fight. And we told him to leave in the 12th round. So don't even watch the last round, said James on Spence, leaving the Crawford versus Sean Porter fight immediately after it ended on November 20th. I will put it like this, Derrick James. We're talking about a grown-ass man, right? Now, check this out, listeners. Check this out. Why would you tell? Now, check this out, because people think I'm hating on Errol Spence, man. I'm not. I'm just speaking off just observation, bro. Okay, I'm gonna try not to get off topic. But you just mentioned earlier, you're not his manager. You are not his manager, bro, and you're definitely not his pops. You're not his daddy, and you're not his manager. But now you're saying, let me go up here and advocate for my fighter and tell the fans what exactly was said. So now you giving orders to Spence. Now he's somebody that you can give an order, delegate an order to, and he's listening to you directly. But before, when you was being talked, I don't know what he's gonna do. I'm not his manager trainer. But he goes on to say he made the face because of Kenny Porter, not because of the fight. And we told him to leave in the 12th round. Who is we? So don't even watch the last round, said James on Spence, leaving the Crawford versus Sean Porter fight immediately after it ended on November 20th. First of all, your fighter is in a stable with another fighter. That fighter being Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, did you tell him not to be out in public doing what he's doing? Anyway, I need to stay on topic. So therefore, you're telling Spence to show up. We're talking about Errol Spence Jr. that said he would never, attend the fight of Crawford. So you tell him to show up and you leave in the 12th round. Why not leave in the 11th round and watch it on the TV from the lobby and then be closer to the parking lot so you can go? You tell him to wait till the 12th round. You don't need to be a part of the show. Well, goddamn it, if he's there the entire fight, a championship fight, WBO World Championship fight, and you tell him to leave following the 12th round. He said, we told him to leave in the 12th round. What does in the 12th round mean? What does that mean, though, in the 12th round? Then it goes on to say, so don't even watch the last round. So you want him to leave inside the 12th round or leave at the end of the 11th round? See, I'd be petty about shit like this. People always be trying to see, it's certain things I do purposely so people can correct you, because you pretty much find out, are they really truly listening to you? Are they trying to sit up here and dictate, what you're talking about? Because people, in order for them to be right around you, sometimes they always want to correct you on shit. Me being a general's briefer early on in my military career and throughout, I learned public speaking, certain things you have to purposely do to get a reaction. And people might find that petty. It is for real. It's seriously petty. But you just find out how attentive and what people are really tuned into. You find out what their purpose is. So did Derrick James want him to leave in the 12th round or at the conclusion of the 11th round? Or did you want him to partially watch the 12th round? So what he did, he stayed there, and the fight ended up being stopped. He looked up there and he was making a face. It don't matter if he was frowning up at Kenny Porter. It don't matter. He was still frowning up. The whole point is your friend next to you was shaking his head just like you. So if it was never any words exchanged, what is your friend shaking his head for? Like, did y'all have a conversation? Like, were you shaking your head because Crawford won via stoppage in a round? You know what I'm saying? 2 rounds quicker than you was able to do it? Are you mad that Crawford stopped him and was the first man to do it? Because when it boils down to it, we don't really care what you were shaking your head for. It all blends in with the conclusion. The conclusion was Terrence Crawford stopped Porter. He was the first man to do it. So definitely you're not going to be happy about this shit because, people trying to build up the fight between you and Crawford. He goes on to say, that's what I told him. You don't want to be part of out of there. He did what he was asked to do. So you're not his manager, you're just his trainer, but he did what you asked him to do. I got him. Do us a favor, Derrick James. Why don't you ask him to confirm whether he want to smoke with Terrence Crawford? Since you can tell him to leave a fight on his liberty, he's a grown ass man with family out on his own. You can instruct him to leave a fight and he's going to abide by your rules. Anyway, next he says, so what everyone else is talking about, making a face, he did that because of the way Kenny Porter stopped the fight. If you listen to Kenny Porter's interview, he said he would stop the fight before the fight. They said, what did you see in the fight that made you think you need to stop the fight? He said, I didn't see anything in the fight. And I was going to stop the fight because of what he was doing in training. Now, we all know Kenny Porter was on some straight up nonsense, some foolishness, calumny. You know what I'm saying? He was absolutely in his character of acting an absolute fool. Because as much as he's been by his son's side, for him to come out his mouth the first time his son gets stopped, it's just BS, and we all know it. We all know Kenny Porter was BSing. You're gonna come pick up the check first. You're gonna come pick up the $4 million plus check first. So if you really wanted to stop the fight from your son, you never will allow him to step in there if it was that serious. It was a detriment to Sean Porter's career. He was looking that bad. You up here sparring with Errol. You know what I'm saying? Tank Davis going all over the media. Eris Landalore, you're in there sparring with some gents, some dogs. And then all of a sudden, Sean Porter, who was doing very well in the fight, I must say, if you look back around 7 and 8, they was really giving him his plaudits. I'm telling you, they was giving him praise. They was giving him credit, all that shit. All of a sudden, he gets stopped. His dad stopped the fight, right? Because he knocked down twice. It's all about how he looked in practice. I'm going to be honest with you people. What Kenny Porter did that night goes down in the top 3 bullshit moments in boxing. It goes down top 3 bullshit moments in boxing. He made a mockery. He absolutely made a mockery of what the respect's supposed to be between him and his son. He made a mockery of what family's supposed to be when you're in a tough sport such as boxing and you have a father and son duo, a tandem that's been in the game for quite some time, but you're going to just throw him under a bus that's going 2 miles per hour. You wanted that bus to slowly roll over Sean to make sure the damage is done. You didn't want that bus to be going 100 miles per hour. What you was trying to say to the people, you wanted to kill off any speculation that your son just got absolutely beat by Terrence Crawford. You wanted to dead it. So the way you was gonna dead it, since you got half of, the $4 million, your paycheck looking good. Your bank account looking good too. Since Sean moved across the street from you, you can just crack your window open and say, hey, son, thank you for the paycheck. Close that shit back down and go on about your business. Oh, by the way, you still retired? Yes. Okay. He made a mockery of his son's career in one moment, which a lot of people should identify that. Don't be up here making excuses and freaking babysitting Kenny Porter because he's a well-known entity in the sport of boxing. What he said was to basically dilute what the accomplishment of what Terrence Crawford just did. If you were seriously trying to stop this fight, stop him from coming, why didn't you do it? Because numbers don't lie, right? In this particular case, 0 is a much lower number of value than 2 point some million that you received from Sean, right? Once again, 0 is a much lower value in comparison to 2 point whatever million dollars you received from Sean, right? So you had no intentions of stopping this fight previously to them stepping through the ropes. So let's just cut that bullshit right out the way. And don't ever come back to the ring talking some bullshit like that. Don't ever return to boxing and do that to another one of your fighters. Because it goes down as top 3 all time. You threw Sean up under a bus that was barely going 2 miles per hour. You wanted that shit to basically destroy him. When I mean destroy him, you wanted him to not be able to recover. You wanted to dead everything. Because Sean Porter was the one that was in the ring. You wanted that shit to die. You wanted Sean to be in a casket with it. You killed that man that night. And then Sean gets on his Sean Porter podcast. He has Terrence Crawford on there. And he talked about the fight. You rarely see that shit happen, but Sean's a different type of dude. He dresses different. He acts different. Like, it's hard to dislike Sean. It really is. I can't really be mad at him for being standoffish in public. I've witnessed that. But as a person in general, it takes a lot of reserve, to put things behind you to still fresh in your memory, to have the fighter that just stop you, right? Because your dad, have your dad absolutely embarrass you, to have that fighter on your podcast and talk about the fight and make light of what happened. Sean Porter's really settled in to his TV gig. He really wants this to go somewhere. And part of, the process of mass media, you have to have a personality. You have to be a little goofy. You have to have some type of side of you that people are attracted to, you know what I'm saying, that they accept. And some people accept Sean Porter for his history in boxing, his career, the respect that he has from his fans, the way he dresses, even though Halloween and St. Patrick's Day are far gone, him being just an overall good guy. They respect him for that. So him having Terrence Crawford, a friend of his, on, it makes sense, don't it? Well, what doesn't make sense to me is the fact that Derrick James want to reference the shit that Kenny Porter said to kind of still, put Errol Spence in a skylight. Errol Spence with the distance, life and limb with Sean Porter. Terrence Crawford stopped him. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We don't care what Derrick James talking about. Because you didn't sit up there and you don't sit up here and tell Mel Charlo what to do when he out in public. He's doing what the hell he wanted to do. So how all of a sudden you're going to tell Errol Spence and give him instructions and say, hey, if you go into this Terrence Crawford fight, whatever you do, leave in the 12th round. And then he says something different. So you want him to leave at the end of the 11th, or you want him to leave during the 12th? After the 12th round, get up out of there. Why? Wasn't it Errol Spencer saying he was gonna have a meeting, a face-to-face meeting with Crawford? Wasn't it Errol Spence that has previously jumped in the ring with Sean Porter? Wasn't it Errol Spence? It was Errol Spence, right? So who was giving him orders back then when he jumped in the ring to get a fight with Sean Porter? Where was Derrick James then? Were you basically delegating orders? Were you basically the HNIC? You know what I'm saying? Where were you then? How all of a sudden, if Spence is older, you're gonna give him an order to leave the fight? You don't need to be a part of the show. I don't get that. Like, this is Errol Spence we talking. People know him. So why wouldn't you want him to attend the fight? First of all, he purchased a ticket. He wasn't sitting courtside. I mean, not courtside, ringside. He's a grown ass man. Why would you sit up there and say you don't need to be a part of the show? I don't get where this all factors in to Terrence Crawford. Like, that's power right there. Like, that's another sign of how powerful Crawford is when it comes to this boxing game. Because Derrick James have to give him orders, instruct him. Hey, don't be around. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a part of the show. Leave in the 12th round. Leave in the 12th round. Leave. We're talking about grown ass men that's combat sports practitioners, elite fighters. And you have a guy who earlier say he's not his manager. He can't answer that question. But then you can instruct him to leave a fight for which he said he was going to step in the ring and go face to face with Crawford. Anyway. Ghost in the building on deck. Spence don't duck none. Same time as Crawford as a champion, and he got the best resume. And you can like, I love when people pick toilet paper out of community bathrooms, right? And it's piss all in that shit, right? It's piss and everything else for them. It's probably got like 2 or 3 turds, and you keep on picking that shit up with your hand, and you don't think it's dirty. You're just looking at it and say, damn, that shit stink. But hey, I'm fascinated. I'm curious. Let me continue to pick this toilet paper, this used toilet paper out the toilet. That's what it is when they keep on mentioning resumes. You keep on dipping your hand down in the toilet and bringing up those turds in your hand and say, damn, this feels quite different than I imagined. Let me play around with it like it's Play-Doh. You know what I'm saying? Come on, to this day, you're better than that, bro. You're better than bringing up resumes, bro. He fought 2 common opponents of Errol Spence, man. What more he needs to do? He needs to fight Errol Spence, right? He can't do that unless Errol Spence wants to fight. I mean, why are you coming over here with the same thing to this day? Come on, bro. It's getting to the end of the year. Don't you think that shit is old and expired? Spence said he was down to go in the ring, but ESPN didn't allow it. Oh my God, man. Did we see ESPN? Like, once again, he jumped in the ring with Porter, right? But all of a sudden, ESPN didn't allow it. So how in the hell he wanted to go in the ring and he left when he was looking up at the screen in the 10? When did ESPN play a role in that? When did we actually see footage of Errol Spence traveling and making a path down to the ring after the fight had concluded? Please don't cap. They dipped after that because ESPN. Don't cap. Spence didn't want to get in the ring. He went the other way. Sir Senior, smart man. Because if the end state is to my right, but I'm taking a left-hand turn, a column left, as we call it in the military. If he's making a column left, but yet all the action is column right, then you walk in the opposite direction of where you're supposed to be, because all your fans on here and all your mouthpieces and freaking advocates, they was on here say, okay, we're gonna see what Terrence Crawford do when Errol Spence get in the ring. And then they was sitting there behind the mic. They was looking at their damn phone or PC, pouting with their bottom lip out. Hmm. He did it to him again. He didn't stick to his word. They're up there pouting, stumping their feet. Damn, Errol, why you went the other way? Man, stop it, man. Stop it. All Spence got on his resume over Bud is Mikey and Danny. I guess those guys are now the standard of greatness at the division. Goddamn, Andrew Charles, man, shit. That somebody didn't tell me this was a professor. This man is speaking very much logical intelligence, stuff that I would say common sense, but common isn't, common sense is abused too much. What he said, all Spence got on his resume, which is pure facts, is Mikey and Danny. Mikey, a lightweight. Mikey, who pretty much got equal pay, stepping in there with Spence. Equal pay now. Now, this is Errol Spence, who's always talking about pay when it comes to Terrence Crawford. But Mikey Garcia has no belt at welterweight. And what he got paid, was it 50-50? Was it 70-30? What was it? Was it 60-40? 80-20? 90-10? What was it, dog? And when you come up with those numbers, someone please explain to me why. How can Mikey, that never fought in the welterweight division, get that amount of money? Yeah, exactly. And Danny Garcia. Yeah, you was right. You wanted to portray that Danny wasn't a tune-up, and he went in there and got beat down. Danny Garcia got beat down worse than Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? He looked bad. Danny Garcia damn near looked the same as Teofimo Lopez this past weekend. And this is a fighter that people praise his resume. They praise Danny Garcia's resume. But appreciate that, Andrew. Talking that knowledge. It's on ESPN show. He jumped in the ring. Look, bro, we're not talking about as if we don't know who's Porter signed to. You're talking something off speculation, assumptions. How do you know, bro? What resources can you tell me from the time that the camera zoomed in on Spence that he tried to attempt to make his way to the ring and ESPN stopped him? I'm going to tell you how this all capped, right? Because I know for a fact, whoever you are, I've probably been to more fights than you. All right? And I can tell you, Spence, a household name in boxing, if he was to walk up to that ringside and want to get in the ring with goddamn Terrence Crawford, you actually believe Terrence Crawford family, right? Terrence Crawford family is up there dancing in the ring. You think ESPN told him, no, miss, no. No, I know y'all with Crawford. No. How you think they would have went with Crawford? So you think they was going to stop Errol from getting in the ring? And he's a unified welterweight champion? Man, you sound foolish, bro. You sound foolish. I've been to enough fights and saw fighters just do what they want. Floyd Mayweather in San Antonio, Texas. The only fighter walking around ringside, giving instructions to Tank outside of his team that's there. Just pretty much maneuvering however he feel like it. He was walking back and forth to the dressing room. Tank changed out the gloves without the team. Hey man, he was doing what he want. Man, don't sit up here and say ESPN and PBC. They do what they want. Man, I've seen when they have a fight, they move as they like. They do what the hell they want to do. That goes for Top Rank up PVC. I've seen both sides, bro. It ain't cap. Same way D was told prior to Joshua Parker. Man, you're bringing up a totally different. Where was Joshua Parker, bro? What was that fight? Was it in NYC, bro? Was it in NYC? Don't bring D situation into it. It has absolutely nothing to do with the US print, bro. Don't do it. All because they was talking about Joshua had a restraining order on Deontay Wilder and all that. I know what situation you're talking about. Did you not know who was ringside when Joshua was in there fighting Vladimir Klitschko? Who was ringside? Bring me that information. Do your homework. Who was ringside? Who was right there offside the apron when Anthony Joshua was fighting Vladimir Klitschko? Who was ringside? So if you want to talk about Joshua Parker and they didn't want him in the ring, who is they? We totally go from the U.S. all the way across the pond. It's lunacy, man, that you would even bring that analogy up. For real. I'm not even going to post that shit, dog. Spence was with the fight. He had mentioned a discussion with Bob Arum in the past. Now it's in the past. The only person who said they over the fight is Crawford, not Spence. Look, saying that you over a fight when the fight isn't presentable, it isn't accessible at the time. It's basically saying this, that he's over the fight in response to a question when Spence is out on the DL list. This wasn't when Spence was sitting up here healthy and about to take a fight. It wasn't like Spence was going to be Crawford's next opponent. Spence had other people in mind. Crawford had another opponent in mind. Wasn't he supposed to fight Pacquiao? Wasn't he looking for the Pacquiao fight? And then they screwed Pacquiao over. You know, they put him in recess for no valid reason. He up here just chilling, just like Yoda Murata. Haven't fought in a minute. They send the email, you got mail. You're Dina Sugas. You have mail. So they wouldn't reinstate Pacquiao, but yet they'll let him fight Ugas to see if he can go ahead and do some magic again. They want to see if Manny Pacquiao can do ×2. And it didn't work out for him. His legs was heavy. His legs was heavy. I get it. I get it, bro. I get it. You went from across the pond back into history. You all over the place, bro. Whoever you may be. You all over the place. You go across the pond and talk about the old ass fight, different division, and then you come way back in time. You found a time machine wherever you at in the middle of the damn pond, and you jump in that motherfucker, go all the way back, and you talk about something way back when. You know, he talked to Bob Arum. Come on, bro. Stay in your lane. Stay on topic. There's no report saying ESPN wasn't allowing that. Thanks, Jay Ocha. That's all I'm saying, man. You over here capping. Capping, dog. Don't let me put my song. Don't let me put my song on there, Ghost. Timing is a factor. You can't say all he got is that when he beat Kale and when Kale was arguably number one at the weight. Look, once again there, Ghost. Prior to Kell Brooks stepping in there with Errol Spence, what did he have around his waist? What did Kell Brooks? You talking about his ranking? What did he have around his waist? If he has something that's championship caliber, wouldn't that justify his ranking if he was a champion? So therefore, if he was a champion and Errol Spence is there to fight him for the belt that Kell Brooks took from Sean Porter, wouldn't he have a high ranking? I mean, it's hard for me to sit up here and say, you know what? It was a point in time where I saw a champion ranked number 8. He was the champion. Why is that? I'm going to tell you a little bit of history because I do this with boxing and MMA. The only time I've seen champions ranked outside the top 10 was a UFC pound for pound list. The UFC pound for pound list, I've seen champions ranked out. I've seen one champion. He has a belt. He is the champion, and he's not even in the top 15. because whoever's doing the list felt that the way he won the title, blah, blah, blah. This is not about MMA, but I'm just telling you the knowledge. I'm just giving you the knowledge for free. At J8, Spence mentioned it himself after the fight. Same way Deontay mentioned him and why situation even thought no reports exist. Bro, why are you bringing up two entirely different situations? Why are you bringing up two entirely different situations? They have absolutely nothing to do with one another, bro. They wouldn't even. Man, we back. I guess the conversation is not feasible. Um, J8 said Errol Spence said a lot of things. Nobody reported ESPN stopping him entering the ring. And that is fact, man. Like it's no channels up here. It's really not any information. It's no soundbite, nothing to go off of, nothing to basically verify what you're talking about. You have to verify your source. So I guess if Spence walked into the ring, security was gonna come out and bounce him out of the arena. Nope, not at all. Because fighters do what they want at certain points. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's the build up, it's promo. How do you think they got down close to ringside anyway? Why do you think some of these fighters be wearing credentials? They're not media. They're able to move as they see fit. If a fighter want to walk down by ringside and say what's up to Kanye West, they're not going to stop them. If they want to walk past security, the security gonna okay, they're gonna give them the nod and they're gonna go over there. Hey, what's going on? Hey, yeah. They're gonna chop it up. Nobody's gonna say anything. Martin Nash on deck. What's good? I'm about to go back to work. If you're still alive when I'm on break, I'll be back. Okay, bro. And enjoy work, man. Appreciate having you. It ain't personal, man. And the source is Spence himself. It's on one of his interviews from the night. I think I got you on my Twitter. I'll send it to you as soon as I get it. I'd just like to know who this is because I really don't care if Spence said anything, after the fact. I'm just saying that a lot of his supporters was up here believing that he was going to step into the ring, and it didn't happen. I got to get back to Derrick James, though. I got to cook on Derrick James. This is the biggest deal with me with Derrick James referencing Kenny Porter. For those of you that follow boxing, right? It was a point in time that Kenny Porter and Derrick James did not like each other, and Kenny Porter wanted to take him in the back and throw hands. It's quite bewildering to me that all of a sudden that he's asked some questions and he's referenced Kenny Porter, Kenny Porter, Kenny Porter. You know what I'm saying? He was asked a question about Charlo, Jamel Charlo. He said in the last 4 rounds when Jamel Charlo was on him, when I told him he was behind the cards, he was trying to run for dear life. He talking about Castano, I think you just have to jump out there and jump on him and then fight your fight, whatever the fight is, fight your fight. I didn't say that, said Derrick James when asked if we'll see a knockout victory for Charlo. I'm like Kenny Porter. He's like Kenny Porter, the person where he was attempting to get Sean Porter, his son, to come over here to his fight camp, where he was disrespecting Kenny Porter by basically trying to source the services of his son, even though they're doing similar positions in boxing. Derrick James attempted to say, Sean Porter, come over here and you get treated right. Your dad ain't treating you right. And Kenny Porter confronted him about it. So it's puzzling to me that he goes in here and say, I'm like Kenny Porter. It depends on what happened in training camp. For real? What fight have we ever heard him say, it depends on what happened in training camp? Like, I remember Errol Spence saying that he made it hard on himself to balloon up in weight and then drop down for the Sean Porter fight. Where was Derrick James, though, doing all this time? You wasn't doing test weights? You wasn't doing test weights periodically to fight camp? Like, was Errol Spence not jumping in the fight camp and you saw the weeks dwindle down to days, months to weeks to days? You wasn't in there? You didn't say, hey, Errol, get on the scale. Let me check your weight. When he came up there and he was 185 and then he was 175, you weren't saying to yourself, hey, you really need to get on this weight. You know, I appreciate you for ballooning up in weight and being disciplined in between the fight, but you know you got to get down below 147, right? But I appreciate what you're doing outside the ring. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could put you in there now, but we know this ain't your fighting weight. Did you not tell Errol Spence about his weight back then? I'm just curious. When we talk about training camps, why weren't you more of a positive voice of influence when he was ballooning up in weight and people was calling him a weight bully? People still to this day say Errol Spence is a big dude. He's bigger than Bud and all this other stuff. Okay, it's a lot of people that's bigger than me. I mean, because I don't frequent Krispy Kremes all the time. I might drive by Krispy Kreme and crack the window and say, oh man, it's nothing like some fresh donuts. I mean, and drive and go find me a nice, cool, shady spot in the parking lot, look around, say, yeah, I'm glad I have this milk in here from earlier this morning. It's nothing like some milk and donuts. I mean, come on, man. You get the point. They were saying Errol Spence was this weight bully. He's bigger and stronger than Spence. But goddamn he's bigger and stronger than Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford was moving Sean Porter around in the ring, dog. I saw just the opposite. I saw Sean Porter turning Errol Spence whenever he felt like spinning that top. He felt like it. He did it. He didn't have that success with Crawford, though. So stop the boogeyman shit. Stop saying that he big dude and all that. Okay, if you're going to say he big in between fights, that's because he's doing other things and picking up unnecessary weight. Just like when Crawford and him met face to face and Crawford grabbed a handful. And then Spence tried to do it to Crawford. He said, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Because he balloons up in weight, man. Stop making excuses, bro. Shout out to Showtime. Shalom in the building, man. Out here doing the damn thing this past weekend. In the trenches and media. Appreciate you, bro. You came up the ladder the right way, man, and did what you did. Much respect to Showtime, man. Real talk. Solid brother out here getting this media shit the right way. Respect yourself. Don't expect others to. Respect yourself first. Don't worry about what the others are saying. Kenny gonna slap him like he did old boy. Well, I ain't talking about that. But anyway, you know, Kenny did what he's supposed to do, but I just couldn't understand how at one point in time Derrick was just trying to get Sean to come over and your dad treating you bad, he taking your money, and then get confronted by Kenny Porter. They got to go in the back like they was gonna throw hands. I mean, come on, man. And now all of a sudden you co-signing him? No, that's bullshit, bro. It almost went down in LA, Porter versus Spence. They wanted a Sean rematch, not Bud Crawford. Everyone in boxing see that one guy's is fishing and someone else is swimming away. I mean, that's what I see too, man. And you know, most of the time I use that swimming and I put like a current. You know, they swimming upstream. Now he ain't like see Crawford is upstream, right? Errol Spence is swimming downstream, and he's really not even moving. He's just going with the current. You know, like beavers do. Beavers have to latch on to algae. otters otters will grab hold of algae, right? So they won't float away and get swept downstream. And they would go to sleep. But they latch on to algae, floating algae, man. But see with Spence, man, he just floating downstream, man, on his back, just like an otter, dog. He ain't trying to go upstream. He ain't trying to swim upstream and get that damn Terrence Crawford smoke, bro. Derrick is happy to be there. Showtime says Derrick not saying nothing. He just there for a check. They don't communicate like that. Facts, man, from somebody who knows, man. I know if the sauce is coming from Showtime, man, it's absolutely factual. You know what I'm saying? Like before, he was despising Kenny Porter. You wanted to extract that man's son and put him in your camp, and you know, I know it's difference between and the sport, but really it is still a slight umbilical cord attached between them. They are family. They are linked by DNA. Their genealogy says that they're family. So when it comes down to Derrick James being disrespectful like that, how can you now co-sign? Oh, I'm like Kenny, according to what happened in training. What are you saying? You making excuses for Errol Spence? I thought he was the one that was in here knocking motherfuckers out. They was using, oh man, he hurt Floyd. Oh man, Errol Spence hurt this person, hurt that person. Now Errol hurting himself. Go back to hurting other people and not yourself, bro. When they met up, but called him fat right to his face. Yeah, man, they did, Mark, for real. Called him fat to his face. Derrick James said himself he barely talked to Errol. The first few years he started training him. See, Jay Ocho up here, you know, talking some facts too, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. He tried to grab Bud's stomach, and there was no fat there, just an 8-pack. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Because Bud's like, yeah. That's what I thought. Grab it again. Grab it again. Grab it again. Derrick James is just protecting an endangered species, koi fish. Damn, dog. Derrick James is out here protecting the koi fish. Damn, dog. That shit's hilarious. When do we awfully see koi fish, man? Hey, then Spence say that he was a big fish. Well, he talking about koi fish. He used to talk about he's the big fish, right? Was he actually always talking about the koi fish? Damn, that's something to think about. But what I want to happen is for you all just to the just take it all in from what I put on the thumbnail though. You know what I'm saying? Just take it all in because Derrick James is now trying to give you this preliminary how to word it. He's trying to tell you ahead of time on not to overthink this. Don't overthink the fact that Errol Spence may come back and fight Terrence Crawford off the rip. Don't even think that Terrence Crawford may be the second fighter when Errol Spence returned from the eye. He may not be the second fighter that Errol Spence fight. Because I think deep down inside, it's just my opinion that when it comes down to Errol Spence stepping in there with Terrence Crawford, he know he's in for one. He know it's a tough fight. He's seen what Terrence Crawford was doing to Sean Porter. He's seen it, man. Seen it for his own eyes. That's the best thing. Look, it may have been all bad when it was playing out that Errol Spence was looking up at the camera. But guess what? That was a blessing in disguise for Errol to see the shit firsthand because he was in there with Sean Porter. He knows certain areas when Sean Porter was actually having success with him, turning him whenever he felt like it, pushing up against the cage. The ropes. I even put it up here. I put it up here. The shot that was seen all around the world. I put it up here. Let me put this thumbnail back up here. Let me find it right quick. I put it up here, y'all. Let me find it right quick. It's not going to take long. Here we go. Here we go. Now, I don't want the other media outlets on YouTube to be taking this shit personal and goddamn sending me nasty emails and then calling me all names and shit. You know what I'm saying? But this right here is rockabye baby on the treetop. When the glove hits your chin, the fight is not gonna stop. Look at this picture. Errol is literally sleeping on Sean Porter's uppercut. Rockabye baby. That's what was going through his mind. Rockabye baby. Look at that uppercut by Sean Porter. Look at that uppercut. Errol is sleeping peacefully. You know what I'm saying? He's watching sheep jump over the fence. One, ni, san, chi, go, roku, hachi, chi. He's counting sheep jumping over a fence, man. Now, once again, Errol Spence supporters, please don't take this personal like it's me and you. Don't do that. Keep it indirectly in the triangle theory. You know what I'm saying? It's me, and then it's the topic that I'm talking about, and it's how you accept the topic or not. I have to explain that now because we have certain individuals, too many of them, that take shit personal, and they never even they never in their life is going to meet Errol Spence. They don't even attend fights, most of them. I'm just putting it out there. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. L-Dub on deck. What's good with you, L-Dub? When it comes down to this fight, all we can do is just pray and hope that something materializes in 2022. Look, I thought the Deontay Wilder situation and Anthony Joshua brought in the hatred, right? I thought that, my support of Deontay Wilder and the Tyson Fury brought in the hatred. But this right here, the Terrence Crawford, now that is the topic. That is the forefront. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. People are latching on to Errol Spence for some reason. They feel connected. They feel confident. They feel warm inside like a hot glass of milk. you know what I'm saying, they feel carefree. They are defending this man when this man ain't defending himself, dog. That separates me from you. Like, Crawford's a family man. He's doing everything he's supposed to do outside the ring. He's treating the sport with respect. He's respected as one of the elite fighters. He's a pound for pound fighter at 140, undisputed. He's a three-weight champion. You know what I'm saying? He has so many accolades, and he just went in there and stopped two of Errol Spence's common opponents. And people, like Andrew said earlier, people are still driving home that, you know, when he fought Mikey Garcia, he was undefeated. He was 4-division champion. But yet, they'll never tell you what division Manny Pacquiao started out at. But they'll go down and say, well, Errol Spence has a better resume than Terrence Crawford. I'm surprised. Look, I'm surprised I haven't heard this. Why haven't Errol Spence supporters say, well, Terrence Crawford is really a 135er? You know that you never hear that shit? You never hear them when it comes to Errol Spence comparison to Terrence Crawford. They always want to talk about resumes, but he's a 3-division champ. Why do you don't ever hear them talk about his lower divisions? But the only damn scenario they would use is Errol Spence is much bigger than Terrence Crawford. He's much stronger. Prove it. Prove that Terrence Crawford is weaker than Errol Spence. Prove this shit, bro. I'm like exhausted hearing the same storylines. Resume. You say he ain't fought nobody. Okay. He was trying to lowball Keith Thurman. Okay. All right. Cool. He fight Kell Brook, then guess what? Kell Brook ain't the same. Well, he must not have been the same when he fought Errol Spence. Because you check the dates on BoxRec, which is public record, it was a pretty short period of time for Kell Brook to recover. Dropped down from fighting Gennady. What division was Gennady in? He fought Triple G and dropped back down to 47? You trying to tell me that's not tough? That's extremely tough after taking a beating like that. And you have to recover, get out of fight camp, recover, heal up, and then jump back in and lose weight and make 147. So I'm going to tell you, Errol Spence fought the weakest Kell Brook out of the two. He fought the weakest. Terrence Crawford just made it look easy, people. He made it look easy. Y'all same people up here that thinking that Errol Spence did something special with Kell Brook. You was the same one looking and giving the Spence face when he stopped Sean Porter. You was out there pouting with your bottom lip out. And some of you cats out there take what I'm saying personal, dog. Like, you actually believe I'm mentioning your name and talking to you. That just goes to show you how YouTube is just out of control. You know what I'm saying? Because I get backlash. I get people that can't look. They don't know this, but I don't jump on panels unless it's around the holiday season. I really don't. Like, I've been giving people panel energy. I'm all about going into enemy territory and talking about subjects, right? But this Spence shit is the hottest topic right now. I know they talking about T.O., but the T.O. shit is going to die down because he don't have his belts no more. The fucked up thing about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence situation is that they can't fuck with Bud. The only thing they have is what they want to create. They're content creators. So the only way that they can put Spence above Crawford is to create content. They're not physically getting the reality in the ring unless the name is Crawford. Stopping Kell Brook in 4 rounds. Stopping Sean Porter in 10. He did it twice. 2 common opponents. He did it better than Spence. And they mad, y'all. They absolutely angry. When they hear me speak on the mic, they get mad. They want to take that shit. I can't wait till that nigga come back over here. I can't wait. He talking about my boy Spence. He talking about my boy Spence. But they'll sit up here and dog the fuck out of Bud, though. Like, I really think it's reverse racism, dog. That Bud is the darkest skinned dude. You act like, you know, you would think Bud is getting discriminated against. How much hatred goes on in this YouTube shit. it make you think that it's outside boxing. They're creating content. They cannot sit up here and say, well, Bud, um, Green Machine, Green Machine touched him, and then Bud acknowledged that he was hurt by Green Machine, right? And he acknowledged what happened, what transpired after Green Machine called him. He acknowledged he was hurt. The man has 6 straight, y'all. He has defended his title 5 times, cinco. And y'all still can't get it. Y'all still don't want to give this man his respect. All of what he's done in the welterweight division has did what? You know how that chorus was going? Everybody on Terrence Crawford resume Errol Spence can beat. Great. Guess what? Those last 2 opponents, Terrence Crawford beat him better than Errol Spence did. So y'all can't say, well, everybody on his resume, and then you're going to stop yourself. Shit, I can't use that shit no more because Errol Spence went the distance with Sean Porter. Fuck. Or I can't use Kell Brook because he went to the 11th round. Terrence Crawford stopped him in the 4th. God damn, dog. When are y'all going to stop promoting this overrated Errol Spence, dog? Errol Spence is absolutely overrated, dog. He get hit too much. He's not as versatile. He doesn't make changes up in the ring. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about collecting data, he isn't quick. Like, just go back to Terrence Crawford fight Sean Porter. Let's go back to Terrence Crawford fight versus Kell Brook. He wasn't having success with Kell Brook in the orthodox position, so he changed it up to southpaw at the end of the 3rd. Then you look at how quickly he changed to southpaw with Sean Porter because he didn't feel comfortable. He changed it early in the 2nd round. So from then on, he continued to make changes and figuring out Sean Porter and what he needed to do. But those of you that want to say Sean Porter was ahead when the fight was stopped, it's totally bogus. The scorecards came out totally bogus, y'all. That's bogus information. Spence is definitely the one avoiding PBC. Is 4-28, and then crossed the so-called street. That's the name Errol took everything out of Sean Porter. That's the same Errol that took everything out of Sean Porter. It might be the other way around. Rogers on deck. Spence is definitely the one avoiding PBC. It's 4-28 when they cross the so-called street. Somebody in here dropping numbers. Mark said, don't forget the face surgery. Andrew said, before I got on social media, not that long ago, I just thought Bud and Spence were 2 solid American fighters from this era. What was I wrong? Oh, shit, dog. So what is your assessment now? What is your assessment? You thought they was 2 solid, but what is your assessment now? You know what I'm saying? Let's not be judgmental. Because people take it personal when you bring up certain incidents that was the fault of the individual who was in this situation. They think it's wrong to talk about, but they sit up here and they'll bring up shit about Bud and be disrespectful when he does everything you supposed to do and represent the sport of boxing. With his family, with his mother, he up here dancing with his mom in the ring. Terrence Crawford does. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Sir Senior say facts because he's dark skinned. I know it's reverse racism. These brothers be on here hating on Bud, man. He's a dark skinned brother, for real. They be hating on that brother, boy. I think it's because he's dark skinned, man. He's not out here trying to fit in with the culture like Errol Spence, wearing drip all the time. I seen Errol. Look, I seen Terrence Crawford at fights. He have on his drip too. I seen him several times. I even took a picture of Terrence Crawford at several fights in different locations. He doesn't have on a lot of drip, but he have on enough drip. You know what I'm saying? He's not super flashy. And I'm not mad at Errol Spence. He come in with the jury that he earned. Hey, do what you want. My bone with him is different. We got love, respect for World Combat Sports on Breaking Beats for sure. Appreciate it, man. They hate Bud, but talk about them all the time because he does numbers on YouTube. They talk about Bud because he really don't fuck with a lot of media. They talk about Bud because he a dark skinned brother. We in the era right now want to damn glorify the villain. You know what I'm saying? And vilify the good guy. They glorify the villain and vilify the good guy. And I'm saying to myself, how does that even work when you got these same telling their kids how to grow successful in life? We heard that, right? We have these little one-on-one talks with our kids and say, hey, I want you to be a productive citizen. I want you to be successful in life. This is what you need to do. All right. But when you hear daddy on YouTube talking shit about Bud Crawford, I want you to put both of your dang index fingers in your ear, twist them, and keep daddy's offline. Okay. I don't want that what I'm saying corrupt you. Not what I want from you. All right. But what you hear me saying about that man, he didn't do shit to me, but it's just creating content. That's all I'm doing. Okay, baby? All right. So don't be mad at daddy. Man, I swear to God, man. I agree. Errol don't adapt like Bud do. I said it before, man. He does not make changes and adapt like Bud Crawford does. You can see Bud Crawford's changes. Like if his opposition is having success, he makes changes and then he moves forward from there. He chooses to come out of orthodox sometime. He just don't come out like he did in the first round, orthodox, and then switch up at the end of the first round to southpaw consistently. No, he's fighting from different stances, man. They were saying how big Jeff Horn was. Crawford never. Look, one thing that's underestimated with Crawford is his clinch strength, his clinch game. Like, look at the Jeff Horn fight. Jeff Horn tried to do all that, goddamn shuffle, and try to damn act like he's faking somebody out. And he wanted to push Crawford up against the ropes. It never happened. He did not have success, man. Crawford's sons wrestle. So he has some wrestling background. I've seen Crawford wrestle. Damn, I just seen him up there wrestling with his people before he had a fight with Sean Porter. I seen Shakur Stevenson up there wrestling down here in the A, in the hotel lobby. I even posted a pic. I ain't post a video because, certain things I don't post up. But he was wrestling with his boys and he got a championship fight coming up, bro. Real talk. Dude's built different, y'all. Dude's built different. Let's just take in consideration that, I want to switch up a topic instead of talking about T.O. because T.O., the fact remains, he was beat by Kambosos. Kambosos is nobody special. He has to prove that he's that special guy. He's in the same position T.O. was. But the one factor that I want to just drive home is that hopefully sometime in 2022, we get the cleanest slate with this. We get the cleanest slate and we get to see Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I'm telling you, man, I believe Terrence Crawford will go in there and stop Errol Spence. I know I heard on several podcasts already that there's no way that Bud Crawford is going to stop Spence. And that's just how Look, people are not looking at the Sean Porter fight. Sean Porter really, he don't possess that type of power. He has aggressiveness to go along with persistence, and if he breaks you down, he can potentially get the stoppage. But we know from his previous fights with Sebastian Formella and Yordenis Ugas, Sean Porter, like Errol Spence doesn't have the knockout power that Terrence Crawford. But going into that fight with Sean Porter, they was thinking that if Terrence Crawford fall on the inside, he'd get knocked out, right? Well, guess what? Why don't you look at the Sean Porter fight versus Errol Spence and see how much success that Sean Porter was having against Spence, and then you bring Spence to the table against Crawford, and you kind of imagine what danger he's in, how dangerous that fight will be for Errol Spence to go over there and fight Crawford the way he does. Just think about what I said, because people was looking at Sean Porter being aggressive, coming forward, being a present pressure fighter, right? And it was going to be trouble for Terrence. It never was. And just think about the way Errol Spence fights. Somewhat similar. The way he fought Sean Porter. Somewhat similar. They come forward. The one thing about Errol Spence, he does stick behind his jab whenever he chooses to. And sometimes he just get reckless and he want to go all out. He's going to find out quick that he's not stronger than Terrence Crawford. It's going to be problems. And then we can only hope that he had a pretty decent training camp and he didn't have to lose 40 pounds. Because I don't want his supporters on here talking about, well, Derrick James had made mention that, he had talked to Errol and the eye was bothering him. So every time he was doing cardio, the eye was giving him a problem. So that kind of, prolonged for him dropping the weight because he really couldn't hit cardio. That's the same thing we heard after the accident. He couldn't spar until he get the implants and everything else. Now it's the eye. He gonna have to wait till he get the doctor's clearance to spar because of the eye. But if he bring that same type of fighting style that he fought with Dan Sean Porter to prove a point that he's the big fish, all he's going to do is find himself on a hook. He's going to find himself dangling for survival. And say, damn, I ain't know this nigga was that strong. God damn, Terrence. He's going to, look, Errol's going to be talking to Terrence like Caleb Plant was talking to Canelo Alvarez. Man, I ain't know, Terrence. Hey, but what do you think? What do you think about my skills there, Terrence? Is it okay? Pretty impressive, huh? Okay, time for you to knock me out. Go ahead and knock me out, Terrence. It's inevitable. Go ahead. I just wanted to get that off, man. I want to say I respect your skills there, Terrence. I respect your skills. I know the knockout is imminent. I just want to tell you, I respect your skills, Terrence. All right? I respect it. I can't do shit with you, bro. I've tried for 3-4 rounds now. I'm just tired, dog. I should have never took this fight. I talked to Derrick. Derrick said, well, you got to take this fight. You part of it. Although he had to fight Brian Castano again, I'm telling you that you had to fight. You had to step up and have confidence and fight Terrence. You can't be scared no more. You can't be running. You represent Texas. You can't be running no more, Errol. Now, if you want to fire me, you can fire me. But I'm telling you, because I love you, you got to step in there and fight Terrence Crawford. You got to. Get rid of the nightmare there, Errol. Get rid of the nightmare. You got to stop running, Errol. Stop running. Fight. Fight, goddammit. Fight. I've trained you long enough. Fight, goddammit. Man, let me stop, dog. Horn, Molina, Porter, Benavidez, Brooke, Khan, etc. All naturally bigger guys means nothing to Bud. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Khan all tall. You know what I'm saying? Khan and Brooke about to go at it. They having a pretty exciting presser. But when they stepped in there, especially Amir Khan, he just made him quit. He just say, fuck it. He broke down Jeff Horn. He broke him down. Now Jeff Horn was obviously bigger. And people was talking about, man. Hey, look, I heard the same shit, dog. Terrence Crawford. I hope he taking this guy serious. I hope he taking this guy. Hey, look, man, I bullshit you not. I hope Terrence Crawford taking this guy serious. That's a big dude. That's a rough dude. You see how he did Pacquiao? He tough, dog. Jeff Horn tough. And then what happened? What happened? Terrence Crawford went in there and made it look like it's supposed to be, bro. I'm telling you, man, same thing. Hey, man, the Bud fight Sean Porter on the inside. He gonna get stopped. Watch what I tell you. Watch what I say. Watch what I tell you. That's all my time up here, man. I'm gonna jump back in the live chat. Man, watch what I tell you. Man, he fuck around. He fight Sean Porter on the inside. He gonna get stopped, dog. He gonna get stopped. Bud fucking up by taking this fight, dog. Bud fucking up. He was up there with the Spence face. Can I get a glass of milk? Put it in the microwave for 50 seconds. Warming up. Man, I'm pissed, goddammit. I had money on this fight. And then that individual that owed me $100 off the Porter fight. Man, you need to pay up, dog. You need to pay up for real. I don't know if you changed your shit, but we had a bet. We had a bet on the Porter fight, man. The Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter fight. And I asked you to then get with me on IG so we can verify. And you never did. And since your boy lost, I haven't heard anything else from you. But, have some honor and give me my bill. You owe me a bill, dog. That's why you don't bet random cats on freaking the panel. And damn show out in front of their friends. Oh, I bet you. Okay, we lock that in. And then they go up here and change the title. They be on people's panel, off camera, change their whole shit up, change their logo, all that shit. Man, I ain't gonna goddamn pay that dude. No, that's fucked up, man. You owe me $100, man. Pay me my money. But man, I don't want to stay on here too long. I've been on here like an hour and a half. And it's Monday, so people kind of grumpy on Monday. I don't want any videos. I don't want people getting mad at me. Listen, people, if you are saying what you're saying about a fight I support, let's say for T.O., I do not take that shit personal. You know what I'm saying? I don't. If it's about Michael Williams Jr., I don't take it personal. I will jump in the smoke when I see it's something that's mandatory. I will jump in the smoke. I have no problem jumping in the smoke, but why can't y'all come over here to this domain and get the smoke? Why I always got to go over to other people's panel to get the smoke? It's too many of y'all taking, the fighters that you support personal, but yet you quick to say it's Bud fangirls and Bud sexuals. We got grown ass man always using homosexual insults. They don't have anything else to talk about. If it's Deontay Wilder, they say Deontay Wilder fangirls, Bud sexuals. And really, they the one behind the mic. You know what I'm saying? Jacking off the cartoons. They the real perverts when you think about it. I never use that terminology. You support a fighter, dog. And like if what I say about Errol Spence you don't like, you can have your opinion, I can have mine, but damn. It's be cats up here really getting hurt as if they're getting a check. They're part of Errol Spence security. They're helping him train. They're going on runs with him. If I say he's overrated, they try to say you don't know shit about boxing. I'm like, how? How can you prove I don't? I have a voice just like you got a voice. We're going to have difference of opinion even if we support the same fighter. I don't try to be right all the time. Like I said before, it's some things I leave out purposely, because you get a reaction out of you. Really find out is people really supporting you? Or are they just trying to fuck with you and find out little itty bitty things you saying is wrong just so they can correct you? They won't give you no props on when you're right. They won't say shit when you're right. But time you say something wrong, it triggers them and they say, you know what, that ain't right. I know it ain't right. But y'all keep this fight in your prayers. All right. Like I told y'all before, this ain't over. It don't matter how many of y'all listen from the outside, this ain't over. I've sent out end of the year certificates inviting Errol Spence fans to come over to be a Bud Crawford fan. All right. All I need for you to do is sign that so we can make you an official certificate and send them out before Christmas. All right. Don't take this shit personal. It's just creating content, and it's just me having my opinion on the fighter I support. It's not personal. All right. So hopefully in 2022, Errol Spence can be lucky number 7. That's what we hoping. You know what I'm saying? We hoping that Errol Spence is lucky number 7. Because we all know 7 is a lucky number. So y'all keep your fingers crossed. Keep prayed up that somehow, some way, Errol Spence get the confidence to step in the ring with Terrence Bud Crawford so he can be lucky number 7. And then we can get back on YouTube and really have something to talk about. I really want these same people that's on here dogging the fuck out of Crawford. I want them to step up and say, well, you know, I was wrong. I put too much emphasis. Man, that was fucked up, man. You know what? He ain't right from the accident. You know what? His eye was bothering him. You know what? Him and Derrick James wasn't getting along. You know what? Jamel Charlo was a bad influence. You know what? His back was probably hurting from riding his horse. You know what? His neck wasn't right from wearing all that drip. You know what? He never been the same since the Porter fight. I'm still gonna come up with all these fucking excuses, dog. We passed the box rec, dog. We passed the resume hoopla. We passed all that shit. We need to speak about what has transpired in the ring with Terrence Crawford and how it basically correlates to what Errol Spence wasn't able to do. He drops Errol. He drops Sean Porter in 11, and he starts going and making the belt sign. Okay, you picked up the WBC belt. Okay, cool. You got it. You picked up the belt from a retired fighter. Kudos to you, Errol. Kudos, bro. Man, until next time, y'all turn up and tune in, man. You know, because I'm just putting it out there. He has a retired fighter on his resume. Another retired fighter. You know, Chris Algieri can't make up his mind whether he want to retire and be a nutritionist or he want to be an active fighter. I'm just sad, man. I'm just sad, dog. Like, y'all hype up his resume so much. But I'm saying, do you consider Kell Brook the same Kell Brooks is about to face Amir Khan? Do you consider Kell Brook a great fighter? If you do, that elevates the weight of Terrence Crawford resume too, because both of them fought a great fighter. Do you consider Sean Porter to be a great fighter, a 2-time world champion? Because people saying, hey, you can be in one division and be in the Hall of Famer. So if you're saying that Sean Porter is a Hall of Famer, guess what? Terrence Crawford, a Hall of Famer, fought another Hall of Famer. If you're going to boast up Sean Porter being a Hall of Famer, if you say that Errol Spence is a future Hall of Famer, and he goes in there against Terrence Crawford and get his ass beat, does that further elevate Terrence Crawford? Absolutely. I just want to keep the same energy. We got people that's out here that's, you know, doing candlelight visuals and shit. They really acting like the Errol Spence militia. They really acting like no one else can talk bad about him as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? He keeps putting himself in situations. They act like you can't speak on it. I never tag team. You never see me do that. Like I don't tag team other grown ass men and say, "Hey, join me on talking about ganging up on this person." I never do that shit. I never was like that in life. Like no, like if you fuck nah, I'm, if you in a conversation, you can pretty much be a grown man and handle that conversation. But I don't need to tag team man just to say, you know what, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in just because. I just stay out there and chill and listen. But I'm just saying, like, for you Errol Spence fans that's out there, supporters, deep down inside, man, I know you want to turn over a new leaf. I said it before. You know damn well that the ones that was supporting Sean Porter to beat Terrence Crawford was really Errol Spence fans. Y'all wasn't fucking with Porter like that. You just was giving him love because he's been in the ring with Errol Spence. You know it's facts. You was only goddamn showing Sean Porter love. Now check this out. Now that the numbers are coming back a little bit, like 130, I say this to the end, 130, 135K, right? Now the situation is being talked about that Terrence Crawford doesn't sell. But he has 6 straight stoppages at welterweight. But being to his PPV numbers, they trying to say they was low. They're trying to put that in the lap of Errol Spence as to why he's hesitant about stepping in the wrong ring with Terrence Crawford. So if it's the PPV number, then you're fooling your fans because you're making it seem like you want to unify the welterweight division. So which one is it? You worried about the PPV numbers? Or are you worried about getting a strap? Because you always talk about strap season. So therefore, if it's strap season for Errol Spence, he should worry about fighting Crawford for his belt so he can get a step closer to unifying the welterweight division. That's what it is. That's what he needs to do. I'm being absolutely sincere on that. Like, if they're gonna put that somehow, some way, Terrence Crawford doesn't sell tickets, and that's the reason why Errol Spence won't consider him for a fight, it's bullshit. And it's only gonna hurt Errol because Errol was the one that declared that he was going to unify the welterweight division. But he's now understanding that his alpha is in the same division, and it's going to be very difficult for him to step in there and beat Crawford. So he has options. He can't drop down in weight. That's damn near impossible. But he can go up in weight. But let me tell you this. If he chooses to wait till Terrence Crawford vacates or move up to the division to fight for the WBO title, and all of a sudden it's feasible, then his fans should get on here and hold him accountable for that. You shouldn't sit up here and praise him for picking up another strap once Terrence Crawford is absent. I'm just being honest. You can't sit up there and put that out in the media and have us respect that shit. Like, he needs to fight Terrence Crawford while he's an active champion. That's period. You can't wait till the man that's thinking about moving up or moving down. You know, Terrence Crawford has the opportunity to drop down and fight Josh Taylor for those titles, and he become undisputed again at 140. Then what? Y'all gonna keep on talking about his resume at 47? Nobody's gonna give a damn about that. They're gonna be talking about him fighting other people now. They're gonna be waiting for him to move up to 154. Oh, let's see what he can do at 154. Let's see if Jermell Charlo can go ahead and lift this belt off Brian Castano. Because from what I'm hearing, Terrence's interest may be to move up to 54 and potentially face Jermell. Then they'll jump on Jermell's bandwagon because he's in the damn camp with Errol Spence, supposedly. So they're going to show Jermell Charlo the same love they're showing Errol Spence because it has Crawford as a common denominator. You know I'm speaking facts, dog. It's going to be a common denominator. Terrence Crawford ain't going to win on this YouTube. He's not going to win, bro. Because you got too many people that's going to stay linked up to Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. Instead of just looking at how talented Crawford is and what he's been able to accomplish, he got 6 straight stoppages, but yet they still talking about resumes. They still got their hand down there squeezing fresh turds in a community bathroom. Oh, that's gushy. I like that. It smells too. It stank. That's what I think about this resume shit. It's garbage. You cannot sit up here and elevate Errol Spence's resume any more than you can do Crawford's. These dudes disrespect Bud and his family daily. They want to sit up here and talk about what Bud's wife do and stuff, man. Like, bro, you really have your energy vested in the wrong direction. Your priorities are all fucked up, dog. Third coast on deck. Not sure what that means. Spence was at the fight. Salute King Asian Math for paying me my 100 after he lost his bet on Spence. So Asian Math lost his bet on Spence. What fight? What fight you talking about? Let's go 154. That's where aim at. Yeah, you can. I mean, speaking full sentences, give a descriptive summation, dog. Just give a brief summation on what you're talking about. Like you're writing in shorthand, and I'm just reading the thread. I really don't know what you're referring to. You know what I'm saying? Calling someone a bud sexual is deflecting because Errol Spence Jr. is the only one on camera kissing another man. Stop the cap. Damn. Accept the facts. See, I don't even really, you really never hear me talk about shit like that. It's just a waste of my time. Like if I'm in the streets, I really don't put my business out there. I don't want these cats to be, that's just life. I don't want these cats to be knowing my business, what female I'm with, trying to find out where she at on IG. No, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to this social media shit, dog, you'll never see me on here doing some shit like that. Ever, ever. I don't care if I known that homie when we was both in diapers and we grew up together. Never, never, ever, ever, ever. Times has changed. I heard one. I heard my boy Keon mention ATL. Hey, everybody down in ATL is not from the new era. I'm from the 70s, the 80s. I'm from the 90s ATL. The shit done changed since I was down here. You know what I'm saying? So you can't group us all together and think that it's all about the Skittles. No, it's not, bro. There's a lot of women down here in the ATL. You just got to find them if that's what you're looking for. They ain't hard to find. If you can't pull a woman down here in the ATL, then something wrong with you. Oh, resume. Okay, third. I hear you. Resume. Look, resume. I'm saying I'm tired of hearing about resumes between these two fighters there, third. That's all. Resume is trash when we're talking about these two fighters and they're trying to basically put Errol Spence's resume in a whole nother group of hierarchy. It's not no different groups of hierarchy. You're trying to place it in the pantheon of boxing, Errol Spence's resume at this point. Come on, bro, stop. You're trying to now roll up the script all nice and fresh, the ink still wet, and you're trying to send that mug up to the pantheon of boxing and say, "The Most High, please accept my presence. I have a script from you, and I want you to read over it and see if we're able to archive it here in the pantheon of professional boxing." He read that. "I rebuke you. Get out of my presence." He cast him down like he did Lucifer. That mother falling from grace. Man, let me stop, dog. Man, let me stop, bro. Shaft on deck. What's good? At third coach. Yeah. Spence was at the fight, but when he get in the fight? But when will he get in the fight? Talk your shit, bro. The man said he was at the fight, but when will he get in the fight, shawty? That's all I'm saying. When will Spence get in the fight? Why are people that I'm considering cool people not wanting to communicate all because of Spence? Dude, this shit does not affect me. Like, I'm talking about a certain fight I support, but y'all are acting like I'm talking about your brother. You get people acting funny in public, man. Dude, if you acting funny, look, I had people stop talking to me all because of Deontay Wilder, bro. Then you're not media then. If someone supports Deontay Wilder, right, and you stop communicating with them, I mean, like, where are we at in life, dog? Like, damn, like you're mad because I was supporting Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury is the one who's accused of all these things. But you was mad because I was supporting Deontay. Same thing with Bud Crawford. You got people mad and will look at you funny in public because they support Errol Spence. And I asked them, say, so when have you broken bread? When have you been over his house? When have you met his family? So therefore we're in the same boat. Because neither have I with Team Crawford. I haven't been over there broke bread or none of that. But I have had the opportunity to see him in person. I have had the opportunity to interview him. I have seen him fight. I've seen him with his people several times. I have. I've seen him defend his title a couple of times. So therefore, that's the only connection I have. All the rest is just my opinion, my comprehensive opinion. It's something that you don't have to take personal because I'm directing this towards a fight I want to see. I want to see him step in there with Errol Spence. I want to see it. Like I supported T.O. You know, T.O. lost. It happens in the sport of boxing. But look, I see all the thumbnails that T.O. got his ass whooped, right? But they're not looking at he in 15 fights, he became world champion. In Kambosos' 20th professional fight, his 20th professional fight, he became world champion. In T.O.'s 15th professional fight, he became world champion. His 16th professional fight, he became unified, undisputed champion. But now he takes a loss. He get pummeled, bloodied, cut. And then they say he's trash. He got exposed and this. That just goes to show you how individuals don't even respect the sport of boxing. They don't give a fuck. Like they always hated on T.O. to support Devin. That's just the way it is. They always hated on T.O. Now the same thing goes for Terrence Crawford. They hate on Terrence Crawford to support Errol Spence. They know it's fact. They know that shit is motherfucking fact, dog. The same people that were supporting Sean Porter was Errol Spence fans. Only because Sean Porter stepped in there with Errol Spence. They didn't really give a fuck about Sean Porter. They just wanted Sean Porter to beat Bud Crawford so him and Errol Spence can have a rematch because Errol Spence has already defeated Sean Porter. And that will make it easier for him to become welterweight undisputed. They didn't give a damn about Sean Porter, man. Now that Sean Porter's lost, they want to talk about what Kenny Porter said. The bullshit never fucking stops, dog. They be squeezing that caca. They just be squeezing that shit, squeezing it, and then dip their hand down there again, grab another turd, just squeezing, and goddamn that toilet paper just hanging off their hand, all that piss and shit just dripping in the toilet. Because they keep on wanting to mention resumes and shit. They don't want to damn respect the performance. It's the same shit all the fucking time, dog. From fighter to fighter. They didn't fuck with Deontay Wilder. They hated, they supported Joshua because they didn't fuck with Deontay Wilder. They supported Fury because they didn't fuck with Deontay Wilder. They hate on Terrence Crawford because they fuck with Errol Spence. It's always going to be selective choosing in this life because that shit is judge fucking mental, dog. People are judgmental all the fucking time. Shav, thank you for the donation, my brother. Let me post you up right quick. It's much appreciated. One love to you, bro. Appreciate you. I bet EJ would have stayed and went to the ring if Porter stopped Bud. See, that man talking too much sense right now. That shit is dollars. Absolutely. If Sean Porter would have damn defeated Bud Crawford, Errol Spence definitely would have been in the ring again. We wouldn't have been talking about, well, you know, ESPN didn't allow Errol Spence to step in the ring. Man, let Sean Porter defeat Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence would have been up there with a smile. See, I told y'all He wasn't that good. See, I defeated Sean Porter. I told y'all that I was better. Now, Sean Porter, you know why I'm here, dog. You know why I'm here. I'm here because we got to fight, dog. I tried to get the fight with Terrence. He didn't want it. Now you're the champion. We got to fight, dog. And then Sean Porter will say, you sure? This is locked in. We can do the fight. Well, not exactly. I got to speak to Al. Let me speak to Al. I got to get permission, see what Al's saying, and then I get back with you. But we're going to fight, right? Yeah, sure. Next. We're going to do it next. Just like the first time you jumped in the ring. I told you next, and I fought somebody else. Yeah, sure. That Errol, sure. Shaft kicking some facts, though, bro. They didn't want Bud to win the Porter fight. Absolutely, they didn't. I just want to see the best fights. Third Coast, that right there is an anthem that we've been singing for a long time, my brother. Like, real talk, we've been saying the best fight the best. But I don't want to basically cloud or put no inclement weather on how you feel about boxing. I really don't. But it's becoming one of those situations where every time you step out in the conversation about the best fight the best, you better have an umbrella because you're going to get rained on. Seriously, that's how it is when you talk about the best fight and the best. Just look at Oscar Valdez. The best fight and the best in your own division will arguably be, a good fight between him and Shakur Stevenson, who is the fresh, brand new WBO champion, right? So common sense, the best fight the best. Let's see Oscar Valdez, the same one who catapulted himself, up 3, 4, 5 notches by sleeping Miguel Burchelt. It would be good to see Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, but no. They want to bring in Emmanuel Navarrete. What's different between Emmanuel Navarrete and Shakur Stevenson? How many divisions do Emmanuel Navarrete have comparable to Shakur Stevenson? Aren't they both equal, I believe? I think Emmanuel Navarrete, from my understanding, is he a two-weight champion, I believe? Is Shakur Stevenson a two-weight champion? I'm not totally sure on Navarrete, but I think he's a two-weight champion. Why does he get the first shot? I'm talking about outside of Shakur Stevenson. Why does he get the first shot in the division he hadn't been contended in? Same thing with Teofimo and Devin Haney. The best fight the best. T.O. said they would fight him, but he chose Kambosos, this, that, and the other. We all know the story behind it. Now he don't have the titles. Let's see if Kambosos is going to own up. Let's see if Kambosos is going to get, stand on the square and say, you know what? I got to keep my word. I'm going to fight Devin Haney. Let's see. Because people think, they want to jump on the Kambosos bandwagon all because they didn't like T.O. And the reason why they didn't like T.O.? Because they was rooting for Devin. We always going to have this bullshit going on in the sport of boxing. You know why people didn't support Caleb Plant? Because they was going for Canelo. I'm serious. The shit never stops, y'all. You know how many times Gervonta stepped in the ring and they was going for his opponent? Leo Santa Cruz, multi-division champion. His punch volume is too much for Gervonta. Sleep. Come on, man. And then there's Gamboa. And then he moved up to fight Mario Barrios. I never thought he'd move up to 140. But the shit is never gonna stop, bro. Now we got Josh Taylor with all the titles. Why isn't Josh Taylor running it back with Regis? He beat Regis for his title. He has all the titles. Why isn't Regis getting another title shot? We're never going to see the best fighting the best, bro. Why is Regis still at 140 and he can't get a rematch with Josh Taylor? They both taking pictures, eyes swollen up and everything after the World Boxing Super Series, but they can't get a shot with each other anymore. How? Like, what am I talking about? Like, what the fuck? How is this possible? Like, what am I watching, man? At least we get Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano in February. At least we're able to see potentially Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano again. And then hopefully Demetrius Andrade will find his way into the frame to grace the square with one of the Charlo brothers. Demetrius Andrade, before he retires, need to fight one of the Charlo brothers. It's only right. He said he want to fight Jermell first and then Jamal. I seriously don't think that's going to happen in life, in existence. But I'm definitely not going to advocate for Demetrius Andrade before Terrence Crawford getting a shot at Jermell Charlo. I respect Demetrius Andrade. I really want him to fight a Charlo. If you have a Charlo in your division already, there's damn kicking rocks waiting for Canelo to Canelo's good graces. Fight Maul versus Andrade. They should fight. He should get them that. They should stop damn holding grudges. Something that happened damn near a decade ago, and they should damn make the fight happen. And then Mel Charlo, he goes in here and hopefully gets these belts. Whatever happened. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a fan of the Charlos. I'm not. He go in here and get what he get. They can say, oh, support the black fighter by all means necessary. Yeah, just like people support black media on here. You have black media tearing down other damn black men don't tear down the black man, but you up here tearing down black men every day. Get the hell out of here. So, it's up to Mel Charlo to go in there and defeat Brian Castano. I'll salute him. He get the belts. I'm not wishing any bad on him. At the end of the day, he got to go in there and prove that he's the better man and potentially unify in the 4-belt era. But let's not forget all the shit he was talking with Deontay. Skills pay the bills, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Him heading to this Brian Castano. Let's see if your skills pay the bills there, Mel. Let's see if the skills pay the bills, homie. I want to see. Don't let this Mexican fighter go in there and dog you. Don't let him take all your thunder and glory, goddammit. Don't do it. Because skills pay the bills. Skills pay the bills, dog. Bud and EJ are two of the best. They both bet each other on that fight. Let's get it. Yeah, Bud bet $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, I guess he was thinking about his horses and stuff. Then Terrence Crawford bet 100,000 or something. I forgot what the amount was. And then Bud, let's bet $1 million. Significant difference, huh? I think Terrence Crawford was thinking about horse feed and shit like that. In the ring, I like the Charlos. Okay. I mean, out the ring, I don't like them, bro. Out the ring, I don't like it. I really don't get involved in personal stuff. But, I don't like how the Charlos, try to sit up here and act like race didn't matter and stuff that was going on about Deontay. And they just kept on being haters. They kept on, being very antagonistic, dog. Talking about you got people in your crew that do life for you and all this other shit. And time Deontay lost, they had to put some on social media to basically further throw salt in the wound from somebody who was stopped and went out on his shield and then fought what they consider the best heavyweight. He fought him 3 times, dog. How many fighters can say that they stepped in there with the best? 3 times in this era. 3 times. These dudes don't even want to rematch. Like, we're getting word that they're trying to push for Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez 3. Why? Because that's a filler fight? You want a filler fight? You actually think it's going to be much harder for Canelo to go in there and defeat Gennady at this point? Shit. They was having me. They say, hey, Mr. White, did you want to prepare that senior citizen package for Mr. Gennady? I said, sure, I know about him. I was up here preparing his damn entry package. So me and him can be in the same senior living home. So I can talk boxing with Gennady. Hey, welcome, Gennady. Welcome, man. It's good to see you in person, bro. Welcome. I want to talk about your package, your welcome aboard package. Okay. Here's your room. All right. You know, you on floor the letter Charlie. I know that letter C gets to you. I know that you're thinking Canelo right off the rip. That's not it. It's just something that was availability. Okay. You in the hallway Charlie. Okay. So, we got you a rocker. You have a single bed, dresser, all that. And look, I told them to put the bag up. I gave you a little speed bag, okay? I know you're gonna have flashbacks and you want to get out the bed and start hitting the bag. And also, we have a C on that bag. All right. It's nothing personal, Gennady. We just have a C on your bag, and it stands for champion. Really, I'm just fucking with you. It don't stand for Canelo. It stands for champion. All right. They want me to prepare Gennady's damn welcome aboard package for real. They up here trying to goddamn link up another fight. I'm telling you, bro. Some people get it. Some people get it, man. Some people don't understand. I don't support the, you know. I'm happy to see Charlo stepping there with Castano for a second time, but the shit he was going in about Deontay about, I just thought it was very personal and petty. And then they want to talk about shit ain't dealing with racism and people getting on here faking the funk, talking about tearing down a black man. But you see them same people tearing down black men. You know what I'm saying? The same shit all over again. Don't fuck with a black. Don't do this. Don't tear down black men. Then you see black men on YouTube tearing each other down all the time, shawty. These snakes and slime balls. They'll sit up here and talk behind your back and shit, man, over your opinion over a boxer. Like I never invited these cats to the house. They never try to fuck my girl. I don't have any relation. I don't owe them money. None of that shit. But they'll get mad over opinion that you have with a boxer. And they'll get super personal, dog. They don't know shit about you. They'll call you lame. They love using the bitch ass nigga. Oh, you bitch ass nigga. That shit. Been there, done that. But I'm just saying, for boxing in general, man, all you out there, just continue to support the sport. Don't get too overly invested in seeing the best fight the best, because you're going to get yourself disappointed, bro. I don't say boxing's dead. I don't say that, because boxing is still thriving. It's an annual sport. Boxing is thriving. It has its ups and downs. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes this shit is just parched. And sometimes it's just flowing. It's motherfucking the oasis and shit. You just sit there and say, oh my God, I can't believe these fights are coming up. Oh man, I am so happy. D-Ray on deck. What's good, bro? Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Pass the word. Don't tell them to take this shit personal. It's not personal at all, man. It's just media. It's just a voice. Don't take this shit personal. Don't sit up there and be dry snitching. Y'all talking about, hey man, you hit WCS over there talking about hating on Errol Spence again, man. Fuck that nigga. I like how. You know what I'm saying? How? Hey, come on, bro. Like, I'm not getting mad at the people that's going in on T.O. I sat up here and said, hey, T.O. pretty much deserve certain backlash that he's getting, because they did change once they had the titles. They did. His father was talk, and then he's gonna get in here and talk about they was robbed. If you felt that he should drop the belts and move up to 140, you should have did it, so you can have bragging rights. They would have probably said you ducked a lot of people and moving up. So be it. A duck don't mean shit, really, at the end of the day. Like, Duck is just a slang terminology to basically refer to some, you know what I'm saying? To show, um, to basically a boxing term that's used and kind of insinuate somebody is avoiding someone else. So it means absolutely nothing. But when it comes down to it, you would have dropped the belts. You would have left this division clean and moved up to 140. And if Josh Taylor was who you want to fight, then you would have you go up, you win, you good. You lose, they would say, okay, he stepped in there with a hard opponent, Josh Taylor, for the unified titles. You still had your respect. I don't know how you would have looked after you left the fight with Josh Taylor, but everybody's looking at the math of what Kambosos was able to do to you. And, he really made you wear that fight, that T.O. So I'm not going over here stomping and shit. I've been on panels defending T.O. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular scenario, the reality of it is he fought a bad fight. He got beat up. Sometimes you keep people in isolation too long, they finally get out and they get that opportunity, they shine on you. They stunt hard. Kambosos stunt on T.O. out the gate. When he got that first knockdown, you see the look on Kambosos' face? He said, me and my dad has been dreaming about this moment. He was overjoyed. His dad was probably running through the motherfucking audience, dog. His dad was, the feeling his pops had inside is the same feeling that Senior had when his son won the championship in 15 fights. And he said he predicted it. The same feeling his dad had when his very next fight, Lomachenko, he won all the titles, dog. That's why T.O. broke down crying, because it was a very special moment for him. Now, fast forward, those tears are for different reasons. So T.O. is going to have to recover. He's going to have to take some time off, heal, of course, get that eye stitched up, and then contemplate his return. That's all. His career is not done. And once again, and I'm gonna leave it at this. Y'all. How can a person do so much so early and he gets recognition for fighting a top pound for pound fighter, the top 2 pound for pound fighter in Vasyl Lomachenko? And we're talking about, bro, we're talking about that. You're talking about a hug. The boxing community, the way they embrace Lomachenko is amazing. But Teofimo Lopez defeated him. So he was able to do so much in a short period of time, and he lose once. And they're talking the same talk. Oh, there's no way he's going to go at the 140. He's suited for 140. Teofimo is not done. He can fight, man. Teofimo will be a world champion in 140. Mark my words. He'll be a champion in 140, dog. That's just like Lennox Lewis getting knocked out fucking cold. That's just like Roy Jones getting knocked out cold, and then his next fight, he go the distance. People was thinking he was going to go back in there to the same fight and get knocked out again. Him and Antonio Tarver fought 3 times, man. Lennox Lewis was knocked out by Hasim Rothman, wanted to fight. Boom, went back in there. Got his titles back. What about Dillian White? This is a fight I don't like, but Dillian White knocked out cold by Alexander Povetkin. Like Dillian White, the support people was giving him to get back in there and fight Alexander Povetkin. He had already been knocked out by Anthony Joshua, but y'all was up there saying, oh man, Dillian White deserved an opportunity for a rematch. But Deontay Wilder loses. And you say he should retire. He loses from a towel being thrown in the ring, and he should retire. And then he goes through arbitration and everything else to get the fight, goes in there and gets stopped. People were saying with one fucking loss, he should retire. Now, with Teofimo Lopez, he takes one loss and he doesn't even have 20 professional fights, man. And people saying, "Oh, he's done. He's done." Oh my God. So were you saying JoJo Diaz was done when he lost to Gary Russell Jr.? Or y'all was praising him when he only had one loss? He stepped in there with Tevin Farmer and he went through a knock him drag out fight. His eyes hanging down and shit. He ended up winning that fight and becoming world champion. I mean, did you praise him for that? Because y'all weren't saying the same language about JoJo Diaz now. I'm just saying, like, y'all pick and choose who to hate because of the fighter that they're going against. Like, it's a rivalry. Y'all want to hate this fighter because you support that fighter. So what are you going to do if that fighter faced tribulation? You're going to turn your back on that fighter and say, oh, man, he got exposed. Like, how are they ever going to take YouTube media serious, if all y'all do is turn on fighters all the time? When your fighter you support heavy lose, what are you going to say? You're going to turn on him and you're going to start talking shit? Oh, he was never good to begin with. You know, I was hesitant. He fucked up. He this, that, and the other. I mean, y'all motherfuckers are not in the ring. You in training camp. You ain't hitting a bag. You ain't holding a mitt. You ain't doing shit. But we got people that's on here attaching themselves to fighters in a different way. Like when you get personal. You shouldn't get personal. You just say, if somebody believes the fighter that you support is this, and this, you should, as if that person is talking about you personally or trying to involve your family, you should just take it as if that's their opinion and they talking their shit and move on, bro. The only time that it should feel disbelief, so to speak, you know, when you respond and you make it a little bit personal, is when it deals with race, when it deals with derogatory obscenities, monkey, and all that other shit that people want to say, or it deals with somebody subjecting stuff towards their family. You know, they really trying to be classy, just like more so Bud Crawford and Deontay Wilder situation. You get the point. Respect the Kambosos. I'm a sucker for the underdog overcoming the odds. Lewis said in the interview he knew what he did wrong and how to fix it before he walked out of the ring after losing to Rothman. True, man. And look, Andrew, look how Lennox Lewis was knocked out, dog. Look how he was knocked out. People would see that fight and they was like, huh? Damn, that's bad. Well, they saying Lennox need to retire? Real talk. And when Joshua quit, well, they saying Joshua need to retire? No, they was like, man, Joshua deserves to get back in there with Andy Ruiz. He deserves that, y'all. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we want to say, okay, Joshua takes the first loss. He quit. He quit. Literally quit. But then they want to encourage him to get back in the ring. He deserves it. Lennox Lewis admitted, okay, I understand what I did wrong. I want an immediate rematch. They weren't saying, no, Lennox, you don't deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, man. How are people gonna take YouTube serious if we keep on turning on fighters and we're not even really studying the sport for what it is and understand it's tough. It's tough from training camp. It's tough to stay injury free. It's tough to go in here and continue a winning streak. And then if you make it to the championship pinnacle, it's tough to sustain that championship reign enough to the point where fans respect it, like they do the Roy Jones and Floyd Mayweathers and the Mike Tysons. And then people have criticism of Mike Tyson's career, but they won't say it to his face because they say, oh, he crazy. But look at who Mike Tyson lost to. All people remember was when he was knocking those particular fighters out. They don't like bringing up who he lost to, how he was on drugs, how he was partying, his stint in prison. They don't mention all that shit, bro. It's a light game. When I see Roy Jones Jr. in public, Roy can walk anywhere and people treat him as if he's still fighting. They see Roy Jones, they say, oh shit, Look, I done been with Roy, and shout out to Team Williams, man. I've been with Roy in his gym out in Vegas, right? With Michael Williams Jr., right? And it was just them doing a one-on-one training session. It was very educational. And it was a time where he came into the casino to try to make something work. And the amount of people that was trying to get a picture with him. This man been retired. I'm not talking about the previous fights he did. I'm just saying from his prime, right? People was trying to get a picture with him. I done seen him go to these cars in different states. People try to get a picture with him. They just shocked. They said, "Oh shit, that's Roy, dog." You hear people talking and talking. Man, was that Roy right there? We go into a restaurant and we eating post-fight. He can't leave the restaurant unless somebody taking a picture with him. That's the kind of after, retirement you want to have. Like, Roy got shit going on. Believe that. Like, they still treat Roy Jones like he the shit. It's hard to gain that Roy Jones respect. Seriously, it's difficult. Like, Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones is very two different people. I'm serious. Like, Floyd Mayweather has his influence, he has his wealth, he has his popularity, he has his celebrity lifestyle. True enough, he earned it all. But you see Floyd, he's around security a lot. You see Roy be walking in. I just saw him down here in Atlanta. Roy was by himself, dog. Roy, look, legendary Roy Jones walked down in that motherfucker by himself, dog. Roy came down in Buckhead Fight Club by himself. What? Look, he didn't even have no mask on, dog. He didn't have no baseball cap. He didn't have shit. He just had a jacket on. He came down to Buckhead Fight Club for his fighter. He was by himself. Look, that ain't the first time I seen him by himself, dog. When he came up to the casino, he was by himself. Anyway, dog. Man, it's been a pleasure talking to y'all, man. Y'all continue to tune into the channel. Have a wonderful Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support whatever you support in combat sports. You know what I'm saying? Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.